Hello, this is Laura Omini welcoming you to yet another edition of Real Relationships with Laura. Today I'll be sharing with us why people ignore relationship red flags. Why do people stay put in an obviously abusive relationship even when the flags are blaring and glaring? They stay put only to regret later in marriage. Why? You know, there are some relationships that have more red flags than a Chinese military parade, and yet they get ignored, they go unnoticed. How come? I tell you, the number one reason, the most common reason people ignore relationship red flags is out of sheer ignorance. Out of ignorance. But the truth is, in this day and age of information, ignorance is no longer a tenable excuse. Ignorance is a choice, okay? A deliberate choice you make. And you know that every choice you make carries a corresponding consequence. So when you choose to stay in that relationship because you do not know, automatically you have chosen to endure all the consequences, to suffer all the consequences. Okay? So that's one of the reasons, ignorance. The second reason people choose to stay in abusive relationship, they ignore the warning sign, is they're afraid of the truth. They're afraid of the hard truth staring them in the face. They know that you know that this guy is not into you. This lady is not into you. They're showing you all the signs, all the red flags, you know, are glaring at you. You just choose to live in a fool's paradise because you feel you love them so much. You feel you love her so much. You love him so much. You can't just give him up. You can't just give her up. You're hoping that things will change. I tell you, things will not change. You better wake up and smell the coffee. Take action. Do not ignore red flags, no matter what. Another reason people stay put in abusive relationships, ignoring the red flags, is out of the pressure to get married. You know, this part of Africa, especially here at home in Nigeria, you know, the women face a lot of pressure, you know, to get married. They face tremendous pressure from friends, from family, you know, to get married. People will ask them, when are we coming to eat your rice? When is your card coming out? All sorts of funny questions, you know, just to make them feel guilty. People think there's something wrong with ladies when they don't get married at a certain age. I tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. Everybody has their own timing. So do not allow anybody pressure you into marriage. Marriage is a choice. It's a decision you make yourself. You do not want to be pressured to make a decision as serious as marriage. Your life depends on it. Your destiny on earth depends on the choice of who you marry. So do not allow yourself to be pressured into marriage. So that's one of the reasons people, especially ladies, endure and suffer, you know, in abusive relationship just to get married, just to satisfy friends, satisfy their family. At least me too. I am now married, so that people can shut up. Do not bow to that pressure. Another reason is they feel they've invested too much in the relationship. You know, you feel you have invested so much time, you have spent years with this guy, you have spent your money on her, you have invested your emotion, and it's just too much to give up. My dear, nothing is too much for your life. Your destiny is at stake. How much money have you invested in that relationship? How much emotion, how much time that you want to throw your life away when you say that the signs are there that this thing is not going to work? You end up destroying yourself. A lot of women, men have died in abusive relationships. They have died. You know, you think you have put in so much that you can't give up. My dear, you need to think twice. You need to think twice. Nothing is too much in exchange for your life. Okay? And then the last but not the least here is the notion that no one is perfect. Yes, we know nobody is perfect, but that shouldn't be a cover-up, you know, for somebody's flaws in their personality, serious flaws in their personality. You know, nobody's perfect, but should you stay in a relationship where you're being physically abused because you feel nobody is perfect? Should you stay put in a relationship where you're being cheated on repeatedly because you think nobody is perfect? Is that the kind of life you want tomorrow? Think twice before you make the mistake that you regret for the rest of your life. A stitch in time saves 9. Do not ignore relationship red flag.